Go to sleep, bitch. Wow, you still alive? How many times I gotta say close your eyes? Well, go to sleep, bitch. Die, motherfucker, die. Bye, motherfucker, bye. Go to sleep, bitch. Wow, you still alive? Why? Die, motherfucker. Go to sleep, bitch.
I'm on a throne. What's going on, everyone? Today I have some epic gameplay, some epic commentary of the new epic game Skyrim. And basically I'm just going through everything, so let's get right into it. We have, as you can see right here, the interface, the main menu. Got all the things. I'm going to show you what's going on here. You got map, and it's really cool because the world is huge. Skyrim is just massive. And you can fast travel anywhere that you've already unlocked. And you can see here from the map, you can open up your journal with all your quests and whatnot, and then right from those quests, you can see where they are on the map, so you can kind of place a marker, custom mark you saw earlier there, and that really helps guide your path, because otherwise you're going to be lost as shit. And with the fast traveling thing, like the location is going to be black or white, and black is undiscovered, so as you pass through areas, you're going to see a lot of them. Especially if you walk around, you can rent or buy a horse, figuring around like the huge, vast area, but walking just is a lot better for discovering areas and fighting along the way, gathering materials and whatnot. And that's really what it's about. Is like I haven't yet to buy a horse. I've got some nice goals stacked up. You can see I got like 11, 10,000 something or other, and but just being able to walk through and fight anything that comes along that path really helps with XP, gathering materials for all sorts of things, because not only is Skyrim huge, but the things you can do in Skyrim is basically infinite. Like, there's so many things you have to go through. You can see here I'm going through my skills, all the skills you have that you have access to right from the start, which is really nice. You can see which ones I've been working on. In Skyrim, though, you can't try and focus on everything. You have to focus on just a few things. You can see I've really been working on some magic, enchanting, smithing, and one-handed, weaponry. And that's just because you at 1 point per level. You can see I'm only level 20, so I've got a ways to go. But it's just things move kind of slowly as far as skills, and you really got to focus on like a few small things in order to stay afloat. Otherwise, you're just gonna have skills spread out everywhere, and it's not gonna be helpful at all. So what I'm gonna be doing here is you're gonna see here I walk up into town, and there's a lot of these things where you walk up and there's just tons of side quests. As I said, Skyrim is just, there's so much stuff to do. So these guys are having a little debacle or whatever, and I'm playing kind of a good guy, so I'm gonna help this guy out and get these guys away from the mine. But basically what ends up happening is I end up killing the fucker. Nothing personal, but he's kind of a jerk, and I'm just like, well, I want access to this mine because one of the things that really helps with smithing is mining, obviously getting ore, so I want access to this, so I'm gonna kill a dude so we can open it up. And you'll see a little bit, some of the combat. Yeah, that's a good segue, right into the combat. It is pretty fluid. You'll see me playing mostly in first person, but you can also play in third person, and personally, I don't really like it a whole lot. Like, it looks cool, you can see your armor and whatnot, which is awesome. Some of the motion's really cool and whatnot, but as far as aiming goes, because I'm kind of a magic user as well, as a sword user, like, it's just not the best. And so if you're gonna, maybe you can get used to it, I don't know, but first person just seems to be the way to go. Mainly for the aiming thing, but some of the power attacks, the running, that gets a little out of control. You see I miss a few times later in the video, but like I said, there's just so many different paths you can go. Maybe a third person is going to work out for you a lot better anyway. So you're going to see I'm about to start fighting this guy pretty here. I'm like, pretty soon here, because I'm not very good at speed, so I couldn't persuade him. So he draws his weapon, I draw mine, we get it on, and part of the thing I'm working towards is enchanting. And so you can see my sword kind of glows there, and he's getting shock damage. It's because I enchanted it. It's not the best yet, but it is what it is. I'll get better at there. And one of the bad things about enchanting is you always have to constantly recharge it. And if you're not a mage, it's kind of an issue, because you have to collect these soul gems. And basically, you're going to want to stick to like mage, battle mage, melee user, whatever. Like I said, focus on one thing. Whereas my skills are kind of spread out a little bit. even though I'm focusing on destruction magic, healing, and melee, it's still, it's kind of far. Now here's what y'all been looking forward to. I'm gonna fight a dragon. Yeah, that's right. These dragons are everywhere, right? So you're walking around and you're gonna find them. You just come out of nowhere, and you might not be ready for them. But surprisingly, if you are prepared, like if you know you're about to fight a dragon, it's gonna be a lot easier than just finding one in the wild. One of the bad things about them, though, the worst thing actually, is when they fly. And if you don't have a bow or something, you're not good at archery or magic, really. Like my magic is pretty decent, so I do all right. But their fire or ice breath or any projectiles they have, that's gonna wreck you a little bit. And you can see I kind of get destroyed by a little bit here, but it's not too bad. And then when he lands, though, that's when I do work, and you're gonna see I just like demolish him quick as hell, and it's really nice. But the really cool thing is right after this, and I didn't even know this, but just step aside one sec. In Skyrim, you have to explore everything. It's a time commitment game. You have to fight things and then explore the whole entire area, because you're gonna miss shit, important shit. And if I didn't explore after I killed this dragon, I would have just left with my dragon bones, been happy. I would have never even noticed that thing back there, a little idol, I don't know what you want to call it. But that is where you're gonna see it later. I get like a new dragon, a new shout, and shouts are awesome. I don't show any in this video, mainly because I forgot. My bad. It's missing a whole lot. They're cool, but it's whatever. And so you kill a dragon, you get a soul. Soul you apply to a shout. It's really nice. You're gonna see me go through that motions there. So it's really cool. And those shouts help you through battles. Tons of different shouts, just tons, and it really adds some depth to the game because everyone can use them, obviously, and they're just definitely game changers when you're surrounded by a bunch of people. So there you can see the third-person view. I got my nice dwarven armor going on that I got from my smithing. Starting to get up there, and you can see I'm starting to absorb the dragon's soul right now, which is sweet. And like I said, though, dragons, they're tough at first, but as long as you're prepared, they're not going to be a huge issue. But anyway, so like I said, there are tons of skills that you can work towards, and like I said, if you focus on one, you're going to be fine, or focus on a few, you're going to be fine. But that means you're lacking in a few others. So really, you want there's speech, and what comes with that becomes like persuasion, intimidation, and if you're not good at that, then you better be prepared to fight, or you better have a lot of gold or something. Each decision you make in Skyrim, or pretty much any of the Elder Scrolls series, really will impact the rest of the game for how you play it, which is really cool because you can play it to your own style. But that also means that maybe you didn't like your style, but that's okay, because you can start to change it along the way, because you have everything open to you, which is really nice. And you can see in a little bit here, like I explored a little bit, I saw this tower back there, and I'll show you some of the lockpicking thing. I'm not too good at lockpicking, and I just want to say that really, you don't need to work on lockpicking. Like, as long as you have a shit ton of lockpicks, which you can find all over the place, or buy anywhere, you're going to be fine, because it's just, you really don't need them. It's so easy, it just takes you longer to figure out where the sweet spot is, quote unquote, to unlock it. And you might break a few lockpicks, which are like 1 gold to buy, or not even, something like that. So don't even worry about that. But some of the speech, yeah, maybe. Alright, jumping aside, talk about some of the negatives of Skyrim, some of the flaws. There are frame rate drops. There's some issues with that. Like, all the time. Like, on PS3 at least. That's what I'm playing this on. And it is just, it doesn't really just make you not want to play the game, because it's still really addicting, but it's kind of a bummer when you're running around and you get these laggy jolts and whatnot, and it's not even because there's too much going on the screen, it just happens. You can see here I'm exploring more places, and this happens later in my video actually too. You'll see where I got from here. But I found a new quest, new area, just by looking at this journal, and that's just one of the things. You got to explore, you got to read everything. It'll really progress you through the game. But no, the frame lags are just kind of a distraction, and it's just kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Some of the combat is a little janky, depending on, like, for me, when I go from magic to sword, sometimes it lags out a little bit, it does something weird thing, and you'll see a little bit later, towards the very end of my video, where I had to kill this guy twice. Not a big deal because it happened like instantly, but it's kind of interesting. And finally, the loading times. Holy shit! If you thought you had to commit enough to this game already, when you're, you can see part in this video, like loading times make up half of my gameplay time, just because there's so much to it. Like, you sit there for a good, no less than 30 seconds ever between loading screens when you fast travel to places, or even going from into like a bar or something. And part of it might be that it's running on my PS3 Slim, which the fans are going crazy because it's in a hot room or whatnot. But another part of it is just like, holy god, especially when you start load up your save, like that takes a good 2 minutes. You might as well go get a beer or something, come back, because it's gonna take a while. But really, the game is a lot of fun. It really is. And like I said, there's just so much to it, I can't possibly cover everything. You can see here I'm smithing. A great way to level up is working on just these menial tasks, smithing, enchanting, alchemy, whatnot. I'm not too good at alchemy at all, but smithing I'm definitely working on a lot because it really helps, because I'm technically really am a melee person. And I level up, so you're going to see me go through the process of that, and you can see some of the specific perks that you can get when you unlock things. It's right here, and it's really nice because you get to choose, plus 10 for each one whenever you level up, and you get 1 skill point. And it's a slow progression, but it's a fair progression. It really is. I really wish you get more perk points, but it is what it is. I got plenty of levels to go. And so if you're really worried about like time commitment or something in this game, I would still pick it up, or at least rent it, because you can take as long as you want between quests. There's so much to journey around, explore places, mine and do all this sort of things. But the main quests, like, I haven't done hardly any main quests. I've done just a few. Killed like a dragon or two, talked to some people, invaded some embassy, I don't even know. And they move fast. Like, I'm definitely over leveled for those. So you don't have to do hardly any grinding if you want to stick to the main path, discover the story, and then when you have more time, come back and do side quests and do your own thing. That's totally fine. And that's part of the thing about Skyrim that's really cool, is you can play how you want to play it. So if you want to take your time and go through each side quest, which I'm kind of doing, but there are a shit ton of side quests, then you can do that. If you want to just blow through it, a dev beat the game in like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something like that, just by doing the main story quest. So you can do that too. It's really nice. You can play however you want to play it, whatever suits your style. Especially the character customization at the beginning is really nice, but not even like the physical thing, but as far as picking your race, that really determines how. It doesn't always determine exactly, but it really helps on how your character's gonna lay out in the end too. So we want to do some research into that. But really, you can change it as you go along. You can be good, bad, join guilds. There's Thieves Guild. You can join the Imperial Guard, which I'm doing. There's all sorts of options for you. It's really cool. You can really make the game your own, which is a really nice thing about it. Finally, the replay value. I don't know about replay so much as continuous play, because there's just, like I said, there's just so much to play. If you're thinking about making a second character, don't. I guess there's some issues with saving over your previous character, but you're really not going to need to make a second character unless you absolutely hate your first one. You can see there that too, sidebar. You can get some cool third-person kills just randomly. It happens, which is really nice. And I'm about to fight a boss here too for a quest. That's why he has a little quest tag over him. And you can see that's where the comment thing kind of messes up a little bit. But you can see, the comment's kind of nice. You really, the first person helps for aiming, for fire and whatnot. And what you didn't see here is I took some potions, and also I'm enchanting my weapon right now, bringing it back up to par. But potions are really nice. They're really helpful. I took one that beefed up my attack by like 20% for 30 seconds or something like that. So I just pull out dual swords and I do work here. But basically that's all I have. I'm going to cut it off early because I'm running out of time. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, rate, comment. Pick up the game. You're going to like it. You're going to love it. That's all. So take it easy.